Hello students and welcome to our second chapter of geography. Second chapter is the interior of the earth. Now in your previous classes students you have already learned or you already have known about how the interior of the earth is, and you have been introduced to different types of rocks, different types of volcanoes and the earthquakes. Now based on your previous knowledge, let us recall to certain questions that are given in your textbook so that we can have a general outline of what you're going to go through in this chapter. Now the very first question in your let's recall part is asked, when earthquake occur, what happens exactly? Now let me remind you, my dear students, an earthquake is a very big natural calamity in which the earth literally quakes. It means the earth shakes very vigorously for certain seconds or certain minutes, but this occurs as a very big natural calamity and the consequences of earthquakes are quite major. But exactly when we talk about an earthquake, geographically what happens, we are going to concentrate on it. An earthquake occurs when the fault, and the earthquake occurs when the rock breaks along the faults. Now let me remind you, dear students, that the fault and the earthquake occurs when the rocks break along the fault line and the stored energy which is inside the earth, it becomes greater than the friction. The rock masses suddenly slip along the fault lines and much of the energy which is stored inside is stretched along the stretched rock. It is released in the form of seismic waves. These seismic waves cause lots of vibrations in the upper layer of the earth crust, and these travel in all directions from the point from where the seismic waves have started. So because of this, the earthquake is felt, or the upper layer of the earth, which is the crust, forms to shake or forms to break, and the earthquakes occur. The second question that we are going to deal is, how are the igneous rocks formed? Now the igneous rocks are nothing but the rocks which are formed due to the volcanic eruptions or the magma that is erupted due to the earthquake, during the earthquakes or during the volcanic eruptions. Now let us see that an igneous rock is nothing but it is the rocks which are formed because of the magma, which is a molten rock which is formed inside the interior of the earth. This magma consists of molten rocks and all the minerals that are present inside the earth's interior, and these melts due to the high pressure and the high temperature that is present inside the interior of the earth. This magma, when it comes out in the contact of the air, there can be changes in the temperature, and because of this different temperature changes affects the magma, and it can cool and crystallize into different forms. This magma can either cool at the volcano or at the surface of the earth, or even while the molten rock is still inside the earth's crust. That time also it can cool down in a different form. Now these different changes in the temperature and pressure causes this molten rock to cool, solidify and crystallize, and this is called as igneous rock. Next question is, what is a volcano? Now this question I am going to give you for your homework. You are going to go through this question and think about it. It is a very simple question, so I don't think so I need to explain you this. The next question is, which material comes out during a volcanic eruption? Now when we talk about a volcanic eruption, the major three materials are there which comes out from a volcanic eruption. That is the gas, the lava and the different types of fragmented debris. Along with it, smoke is also seen, as well as the pyroclastic flow, which involves the big mass of ashes, different rocks, different gases, as well as when we talk about smoke, then the smoke can consist of water vapor, different sulfur gases, different ash, steam, and even gases in a different form of smoke. So these are the major parts that come out of a volcanic eruption. Next question we are dealing is, in which state of matter are these materials? Now it is easy to understand, students, when we talk about smoke or water vapor or different types of gases, they are in a gaseous form. The ashes and the pyroclastic flow, the ashes are in sometimes the ash is in a dry form, sometimes it is little wet due to the water vapor and the steam that is coming out of it. The pyroclastic flow can be in the solid form. It can be also semi-solid, because the magma turns into a liquid state or in a semi-liquid state when it is coming out of the volcano. Then we see different stones and rock that come out are in a solid state, or they can be also in a semi-molten state. And along with it, we also see that sometimes mud and ashes come out in a very wet or damp slurry form. These different debris that come out from the volcano can be dry as well as in a molten state. And the next question is, are this material cool and hot, and why? Now, this is a very simple question. When we talk about a volcanic eruption, all the material that is coming out of a volcano will surely be hot in state. We cannot say it's normal hot, but it is very hot in state, because the pressure inside the earth raises the temperature of this volcanic material, and the ashes, the water vapor, the steam, the different kind of rocks that are coming out, the different debris that is coming out of a volcano is generally very hot in temperature. Of course, it cools down later on gradually when it comes in contact with the air on the Earth's surface. But in the previous state, or in the basic state, it is generally hot in temperature. In certain conditions where if the volcanic eruptions are in a very cold places, or under the water or near the water resources, that time also the material that is coming out of a volcano will always be hot in state. A simple experiment or a simple activity that you observe daily: boiling half liter of milk. Now, this activity we have already conducted. We have already discussed this activity in a Zoom meeting, but those who have not attended the Zoom meeting, this part is for you. Simple activities given students: you have to take half liter of milk, or if there is milk in your house which is being boiled, you have to observe it. When the milk comes to boil, switch off the gas, put a lid on it, and then observe the milk that has been boiled. Now, in a common observation, we come to know that when the milk is cold, you can see it is in a liquid state. We keep it on the gas to get warmer or to boil it. Slowly the temperature of the milk rises, it becomes hot. We can see steam rising out of it, and after some time it starts boiling. When we see the milk is boiling, we can also observe that on the top part of the milk, the layer of cream is formed, which slowly becomes thicken and thicken and thicken, and later on at some point it rises up, or the layer of the cream rises up, and we can say that the milk is boiled up to the extent where it is safe to be utilized. So what you need to observe with this activity is, you have to think, when was the milk kept for boiling and in which state it was. As I told you, it was in a liquid state. When the milk was boiling, what did you observe? When the milk was boiling, we observed that steam slowly rises out of the milk. What has accumulated over the lid of the vessel? When we keep a lid on the hot milk, that time in the inner layer of a lid, we can see water vapor which is condensed and water is formed on it. Tell whether the matter accumulated on the milk is liquid or solid. So we can say the cream that is on the top layer of the milk is in a semi-solid form. What is cooler or hotter than the milk below? The cream that is on the top of the milk is slightly cooler than the actual milk that is inside the vessel. If we can touch the cream, but we cannot put our finger inside the milk, because the milk below is very hot, while as the upper layer of the milk, that is the cream, it is little bit the temperature is less than the actual milk. On which other substances can similar experiments be carried out? Now, this also is your activity, students. You have to find out, other than milk, which type of other materials you can use to carry out the same activity. Hope you find this video helpful, and it will be useful in your further studies. In the coming chapter, we are going to study the interior of the earth and also the details about the interior of the earth. Thank you.